We depend on the news for all our information. Well, it's a matter of time before people started putting their own opinions in there and then selling them as facts and getting you guys to think a certain way. And they've been very successful, so they're not going to stop anytime soon.
It appears that Joe the Plumber's 15 minutes of fame haven't quite run out yet. Earlier this week, he said that he might run for Congress one day, and if elected, well, he might just end up in jail. With a look at that and other stories from inside the Beltway this week, we turn to CNN contributor and Washington Post columnist Dana Milbank. Dana, it's good to see you this morning.
Good morning, John.
So Joe the Plumber addressed CPAC. He also was at a luncheon for Americans for Tax Reform, in which he said that he might run for Congress, but added, quote, "I'd probably be in jail more often than I'd be on the Hill for slapping some member." And that's not bull either. His 15 minutes, they seem to be lasting for 15 months. What's going on?
At least, and it's just beginning. I think it's fair to say that he has come out better from this campaign than actually John McCain did. So we've got the media criticism. We've got him as a Mideast correspondent. He's actually going to write his own tax policy. He's advising the Republican Party, and now, please God, let him run for Congress, because this would be a great thing for our business. They don't take too kindly on members of Congress striking each other. You may remember Cynthia McKinney hit the Capitol cop with her cell phone. She lost in a primary, but it'll be magnificent entertainment.
You know, you don't necessarily have to strike a member. You could, as the vice president did, just sort of upbraid them with colorful language. But do you think that he would fit in? I mean, there's a chance that if he were to run in his district in Ohio, he just might win.
From my experience with the 435 of them that are there right now, I don't think he would be anything out of the ordinary. We've got an awful lot of characters there. The question is, does he really want to do this? This man is the de facto head of the Republican Party right now. I think he's just fine where he is.
Him and Rush Limbaugh. Hey, something that we saw in this year's what would have been, I guess, a State of the Union address in any other year, but just the president's address to Congress was, at the same time he was up there at the podium speaking, thumbs were blazing throughout that chamber as people were sending out tweets on Twitter. And you had an interesting observation about all of this. You wrote, President Obama spoke of economic calamity and war, and lawmakers watched him with the dignity Americans had come to expect of their leaders. They whipped out their BlackBerries and began sending text messages like high school kids bored in math class. We certainly never have seen anything like this before, Dina.
No, it started gradually with the BlackBerries, but this year you could literally see them, going to have carpal tunnel with all the thumb action that's going on there. One of them was saying, tweeting that she had just given a big wahoo when Justice Ginsburg came in. Another one suggested that people tune into the Aggies game on ESPN2 if they don't want to see Pelosi smirk. These are the leaders of our nation, but it's getting rather too pervasive, I might say. I even found there's an anchor of a certain morning news show that's been on Twitter recently talking about how many beads that he got in New Orleans recently.
Yeah, I got a few, and I'm looking forward to your first tweet on Twitter. Hey, one other story that kind of went uncovered this week was the raccoon at the White House. What was the deal with that?
Very significant story. The president has said he's going to close down Guantanamo Bay, but he still believes in this practice of extraordinary rendition. They caught the raccoon, live capture, swept him off to an undisclosed location, possibly the same place Dick Cheney was hanging out all those years. It was a very difficult maneuver. They tried peanut butter, very smart. The raccoon evidently knew about the recall there. Finally caught the critter with some salmon.
All right, and keeping it all under wraps as well. Dana Milbank, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for dropping in. Have a great
Thanks, John.
Have a great weekend.
You too.